Next question comes from Drampa Man on YouTube. Can you please talk about imploding fermenters while cleaning? Yeah, man, I can. You know, basically, here's the most obvious statement. You don't want to be collapsing fermenters, imploding fermenters, or exploding them either way. But a lot of times people talk about imploding fermenters. And basically, it's a situation where, in a lot of smaller tanks, it's harder, especially if you don't completely seal it. I know a lot of people will run a CIP with their ports open, right? And so there's room for if the tank wants to draw air in or push air out, it can out of those, whether it be through the door, because the gasket is out and the door is just in place so the liquid can go around it, or out of the side ports, things like that. And so if you see me do like my CIP a tank tutorial when I was back at Cartridge, you can see that I always had those side ports open, stuff like that. So anytime you have like a big temperature change, you can be drawing in that tank, and it would be going from hot to cold, right? Yeah. So if you have a really hot tank and you start dumping a bunch of cold water through it, it can want to draw in and collapse. When you are potentially, if you are crashing a tank, and yeah, they usually have vacuum valves on something or whatever, or a vacuum valve on a tank, so it would draw air in before imploding. But that's good and all. But typically it's that drawing in. I know when a lot of times what I would like to do is when I would get my tank heated up, and then I would like to have my hot water circulating already, so I can make sure that there's no problem points in my tank. Like I'm not gonna, nothing's leaking and nothing's going to explode when I start spinning it. And then I would add the caustic while it was running through a side port. It would start drawing in. You could hear it sometimes start drawing in the air as that was happening. Some sort of chemical reaction happening right there that would want it to draw in. So I think that's the big one. You don't want to be taking tanks from hot to a ton of cold. Let them actually be open to the air. But when you start getting into really big fermenters, it doesn't really matter even if they're open, because you just have to be very, very careful. Some of the things that we do, like we have 120 barrel fermenters that don't have manway doors, like typical manway doors. They just have like the bottom hatch thing. And so we actually have a pump, a fan that actually attaches to the vent, and then we run that for a couple hours or whatever, and it pushes exterior air into atmosphere into the tank and flushes it out the bottom. So those are all things to consider as far as that goes. So Dratman, that is the deal there. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're going to maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.